In episode 11, we looked at the difference between sending a message and calling a method. We started out with a sleep timer class that was initialized with a reference to a method on a notifier object. Once the given number of minutes elapsed, it would call the method in order to notify the user. We then changed it to a version which was initialized with a reference to the notifier object itself and sent the notify message. We realized that, somewhat counterintuitively, the version where just the method was passed in actually introduced a tighter coupling than the message sending version, because it bound the sleep timer to the notifier's implementation at a particular point in time. The message sending version is coupled to the notifier collaborator by a connaissance of name. This is a fairly benign form of coupling. It's easy to understand and easy to track down and change with global search and replace. Nonetheless, sometimes we would like an extra level of indirection. For instance, it occurs to us that the standard out object would make a perfectly good notifier if only it supported the notify message. Since it doesn't, we had to wrap it in another class in order to adapt it to the needed interface. What if, when initializing the sleep timer, we could tell it not only what object to use as a notifier, but also how to use it as a notifier? To make this possible, we apply the Pluggable Selector pattern described in Smalltalk Best Practice Patterns by Kent Beck. We add a notify message attribute to the timer class. Then we have it send that message to the notifier. Now we can use the standard out object as a notifier by itself, by also providing the message, or selector, as a symbol. There's one small improvement we can make to this code. We used the send method to send a message to the notifier, but the send method is a somewhat dangerous method in that it will trigger a call to any method, even private ones. This could result in our accidentally tying our timer to private implementation details of another class. It would be better to use public send, which respects object privacy boundaries and won't allow a private method to be called. Here's another example of Pluggable Selector. Product List Presenter is a class which is responsible for listing out products in a web storefront. By making the message for showing a product pluggable, we are able to easily reuse the same presenter for concise receipt-style lists and for more verbose menu-style lists that show the full product name. There's an old saying that you can fix any problem with another layer of indirection, except for the problem of too much indirection. Pluggable Selector adds a layer of indirection which, in most cases, would be overkill, but it's occasionally a useful tool for loosening the coupling between collaborators or for doing impedance matching between codebases. That's it for today. Happy hacking!
Hi there, I'm Avdi. I'm the creator of Graceful.Dev. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, I want to tell you there are a lot more where that came from. Here on the YouTube channel, we regularly release new freebies from the Graceful.Dev archives, so hit that subscribe button and make sure you don't miss any updates. But our YouTube channel is just a taste. Over at Graceful.Dev, we've got hundreds of videos like this one. From our unparalleled coverage of the Ruby programming language, to testing and refactoring strategies, to practical skills with tools like Git and Docker, we've helped thousands of programmers grow their programming practice and level up their careers. So if you're ready for more, come check us out at Graceful.Dev to get access to our complete and constantly growing catalog of courses. I hope to see you there.